Recently, you gave birth to a very important idea, an idea that I thought was groundbreaking on YouTube, and it was called the Profiles, the Winston Profiles. What I'd like to know is what birthed that idea? How did you come up with that idea?
I believe on YouTube, people go on it to get better in Yu-Gi-Oh. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how bad you are. But everyone has room for improvement. So every time I went on YouTube, I just always looked at people's videos. Though I did not comment on everybody's video, I still watched it. Even down to Dub K Dad, Asia Persuasion, Robbie's, Cole, Dale Bolito, Audrey, Silent Enigma, all these great people on YouTube. Your Yu-Gi-Oh channel. These are all people that I just looked at their channels to get better. Regardless of what they said, regardless of how they said it, I still learned something from them. So I just always thought about my channel. I said that I had like 8,000 plus or almost 8,000 people on my subscribers list, and I felt like giving back to the community. So since I have connections with all the top players and all the old school players via satellite, via whatever, I just decided to reach out to them and just have them answer a few things about the Yu-Gi-Oh game.
One of the things that I can appreciate the most about the profiles is the enormous amount of information that's shared, especially by a wide variety of players and a wide variety of experienced players. And I believe that it's a really, not only is it a groundbreaking idea, but it's something that's going to be around for a long time. So what are your expectations of the future for the Winston Profiles?
To tell you the truth, I have no idea. Nothing's ever promised. Nothing's ever set in stone. I know I have dreams for it. I know I have like some goals that I want to hit. But to tell you the truth, I noticed myself slowing down a little bit because I don't want to put it up every single day, only because I think the suspense thing is a very good factor of it. So you might not see it for like 2 or 3 days, but then you might see it, and this guest you've been waiting for a long time. I don't only just bring pros in. I bring out all the people that I think have something to share. So I just recently did a profile on like Chris Rodriguez, who top 32 with his Harrow deck, and Kansas, and I thought he had something to share. Most people didn't like the video. Most people from California and wherever hated the video. They sent me messages like, Jarrell, why are you wasting your time profiling him? Well, the thing I liked about Chris is he's honest, and he's not of a known player of the Dells, of the Jeffs, of the Lazaros, you know? He's just a regular player who knows what he's doing. So therefore, I gave him a shot on the profiles. Just because it's the Winston Profiles doesn't mean that all pros will be featured on it.
Tell me about the popularity of Yu-Gi-Oh in the Bronx.
The popularity of Yu-Gi-Oh in the Bronx is very, very subpar, I guess. You have Stephen Harris, who's banned for a while. You have Aaron Diaz, who's banned for like 5-6 months, I believe. You have myself. You have Hansel. You have Desmond Boyd. Those are like 5 prominent players in the Bronx that I can say. So yeah.
Do you believe that somewhere in the near future, New York can be considered the Mecca of Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't think New York will ever be considered the Mecca of Yu-Gi-Oh because I think the Mecca of Yu-Gi-Oh started in California. I think the Mecca of Yu-Gi-Oh traveled to Canada. I think the Mecca of Yu-Gi-Oh started in Japan. You know, like these are all places where players from that region and that area was topping over and over and over and over, you know? So I don't think New York can be the Mecca. I think New York can be fed, yes. I think New York can be deemed as a great place to play, yes. I think New York City and State can be one of those places where you just Google New York and then one of our names pop up, you know? So
the reason I brought that idea up is because one of your friends, I believe he's also possibly one of your mentors or co-mentors, he's part of the Bolito family, constantly represents Canada. Constantly. And it's very rare that he loses in Canada. So what I'd like to know is, when are we going to step up and let people know that New York is the place for you to play Yu-Gi-Oh? Forget Canada. Forget California. We love them, but we want to be the ones where everybody decides to jump on the plane and come over to the Big Apple and play us. What do you think we need to do to put New York higher on the map?
It's funny because when you said a Big Apple, the only thing that I can think about is the Apple Store and all my Apple products in my house. But when you talk about forget California, well, we have to forget Adam Korn. We have to forget Iman. We have to forget Comic Odyssey. We have to forget all these great players. Yet alone, if you want to take it all the way, Jay Kim, we have to forget. But if you want to take it all the way to Canada, now we have to forget about Del Bolito. We have to forget about Lazaro, Irvin, Aaron Noel, Audrey. The list goes on and on. That's something that we cannot do. Yet alone, I will even think to do. Because once again, in order for you to be good in the future and develop a game state that you'll be comfortable with, you have to know the past. And all these players set the foundation for us to play. Even with Lazaro and Dale not playing on the pro materials, the spellground mats, the white player's choice, the calculated cases, the fancy deck boxes, even the Adam Korn playing on these things, and Iman being known for what he was doing and just busting ass day in and day out. For Comic Odyssey versus Super Friends, Overdose, The Bar, the list goes on and on. So I don't know how to say forget about them. I know how to say, like, don't worry about them since they're like dying down a little bit. Can New York rise up to the top? Of course. Can New York be one of those places where New York has a team like they have a team? And it doesn't matter what we're playing for. We could play for grandmothers, birth certificates, social security numbers, shoelaces, the 11, the Concords, whatever you want to do. You know, but once again, we need to have a foundation. And these foundations come from these players in these areas.
Well, you've always been a very fair person in the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Your popularity has definitely grown over the years. You've definitely developed an extraordinary fan base. You've definitely developed a large range of friendships. But this interviewer believes that, you know what? I don't care about California. This is my opinion. I don't care about Canada. I want New York to be number one. Now, when I say I don't care, don't misinterpret what I'm saying. We love everybody across the U.S. We love everybody up north. But New York is New York. We need to be the best at everything. So, with that being said, what do you think we can do?
Oh, well, first of all, we have to remember that New York is the city that was so great it was named twice. You feel me? So, yet alone, I think we have to stand together. I think all the good names in New York have to come together as one and work as a team, you know? We have myself. We have Hansu. Of course, we can get help from more players in New York, but we have to come together. And in order for us to be any good, we have to understand how teamwork is and how we represent one area to another. So once again, I can't answer your question head on because this is something that has yet to happen. I've been popular since 2009 with my second place finisher, you know, and then Hansu and everyone else came after. So I feel like the more people that do well in New York, the more chances we have to build that New York team who probably is going to be the best, you know?
So basically you're saying that New York is coming. We're stepping up our game.
I'm not going to throw threats out there, but I think Jarrell has a good chance of bringing back BX Dose.
Yeah, come on, man. Put it out there, man. Put it out there. New York is coming up. We coming up.
All right. Well, if you believe so, then I believe it with you. But a belief is only a belief as long as you have faith in it.
Mm. So that's one of the good things about you, and I know that when folks listen to this interview, they're probably going to say, "Well, that interview is a moron." But the good thing about sportsmanship is your ability to be able to respect those that you're in the sport with, and that those that you are playing against. I believe. Well, let's just say for argument's sake, it would be nice to have Team New York, Team Canada, Team Los Angeles, or Team California, where some of these great players are, to have a benefit event, a Yu-Gi-Oh benefit event, to raise money for, let's just say, some charity out there. But I think we had quite a few states with great players where we can have a team East Coast versus team West Coast, team North versus team South, something along those lines, to raise money for a special charity. What's your opinion about that?
How much time is on the camera? Real quick,
It's
answer
up
the
to
question.
10 minutes and 45 seconds.
I think that's the charity that we're gonna go to. That's the name of the next charity. 10 minutes and 45 seconds. Why the fuck not? You feel me? Of course we can have all these groups go head to head and raise money for all these various causes and solutions out there who have yet to be solved. But then again, we branch out of the Yu-Gi-Oh scene. And New York has to be put on the Yu-Gi-Oh scene first. New York is known for Paul Levington, Shane Scurry, what's his name? Brian Cornell, Chris, Anthony Alvarado, Frank Schifano. Like, these are all names that New York is familiar with, yet alone Jerry Wayne. So, if you want to talk about New York in a whole, once again, I have to go deeper and deeper and get all these great players. I don't think everyone is waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for charities. I think everyone's waiting and waiting and waiting to see Jerry Wayne back on top tables, to see Shane Scurry back on top tables, to see Paul Levington back on top tables, Anthony Alvarado, and the list goes on and on.
So there's a lot of chips in New York, huh? A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh trophies in New York.
I can probably count on one hand 4 people that, if you just bring them back at their prime, these current YCS champions wouldn't even know. Because before there was a YCS, there was a jump, and before there was a jump, there was just nothing, probably. So
It was flex.